Have you ever stood in front of the mirror, tilted your head, and thought, why do I look different today? Not unattractive, not even older, exactly, just dull, like the spark in your reflection has quietly dimmed. And here's the surprising truth: it's not always the wrinkles, it's not always the silver in your hair. Sometimes it's simply the color you're wearing. The wrong shade can pull light away from your face, drain the warmth from your skin, and quietly send a message you never meant to give. It can make your outfit look cheap, your energy feel invisible, and your presence fade into the background. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about chasing trends or throwing out your entire closet. It's about understanding the silent language of color and making it speak for you, not against you. After 60, our undertones shift, our hair softens. Colors that once lit us up at 40 may now leave us looking tired or washed out. It's not your fault. This is just how we evolve. But here's the empowering part. When you choose colors that complement who you are today, something remarkable happens. Your skin looks brighter, your eyes seem clearer, your entire presence feels more alive. Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 colors that could be quietly aging you and exactly what to wear instead. These aren't fashion rules. They're tools, gentle adjustments that bring out your natural elegance and restore the vibrance you deserve. And we'll begin with one of the most misunderstood shades in fashion. It seems safe, it seems neutral, but on mature skin, it can be a silent saboteur. Let's start with muddy brown. Brown is supposed to be one of the safest colors in fashion. It's earthy, it's neutral, it goes with almost everything. But here's the part no one tells you: not all browns are created equal. The kind I'm talking about isn't the warm, rich brown of polished leather or a fresh cup of coffee. It's that dull, dusty, gray-tinged brown, the color of dried mud after a long rain, flat, lifeless, and when worn near the face, quietly unforgiving. This shade can make your skin look sallow, your eyes lose their sparkle, and your entire outfit appear neglected. Not because you are neglected, but because color has a way of planting quiet suggestions in people's minds. And this one whispers words like tired or unrefined. Color psychology tells us brown stands for stability, tradition, and groundedness. But when the brown lacks depth, it slips from grounded to grim. It can remind people, even subconsciously, of dust, dirt, or something faded with time. That's not the story you want your clothes to tell. I've seen beautifully dressed older women walk into a room wearing this muddy shade, and the first thing I thought was, if only she'd chosen a richer tone, her whole presence would light up. The fix isn't to ban brown, it's to upgrade your brown family. Trade that muddy cardigan for warm mocha, hazelnut, or caramel. Try cinnamon or rust, colors that feel earthy without being dull. These tones create dimension, they frame the face instead of draining it, and they pair beautifully with silver or salt and pepper hair, adding warmth instead of washing you out. I learned this lesson myself. Years ago, I had a favorite cardigan in that exact muddy shade. I thought it was practical, went with everything, easy to wear. But every time I had it on, people seemed less engaged. Photos looked flat, and in the mirror I saw someone who looked a little worn down. The day I replaced it with a deep chocolate brown, it was like flipping a light switch. My skin looked warmer, my eyes brighter. People noticed, and not in a new outfit way, but in a you look amazing way. So if you open your closet and see that lifeless brown hanging there, don't panic. Just know you deserve better than that. Because after 60, your colors should lift you, not pull you quietly into the background. Now, let's move to a color most of us have leaned on for decades. It's been called timeless, slimming, elegant. And yet, when it turns on us, it can be one of the fastest ways to look older. Let's talk about faded black. Black has been called the miracle color. It's slimming, it's timeless, it's chic. And for decades, it's been the go-to for women who want to look elegant with minimal effort. But here's the truth, no one tells you. Black has an expiration date. Not the color itself, but the way it wears over time. The deep, inky black that once made you feel sharp and powerful can fade into something dull. Cotton, jersey, and other everyday fabrics lose their depth with every wash. Before you know it, your go-to black is closer to charcoal. It's a little dusty, a little tired. And when that happens, something subtle but important changes. Faded black doesn't flatter. It drains. It clings to fine lines, emphasizes shadows under the eyes, and pulls light away from your face. Instead of mysterious, it reads exhausted. I want you to picture this. A faded black t-shirt, neckline stretched just slightly, maybe a bit of lint here and there. It's the kind of thing we all throw on for errands or cooking at home. Now compare that to a deep, saturated black blouse in silk, ponte knit, or satin. Structured, intentional, commanding without shouting. The difference isn't just fabric, it's the message. Faded black says, I don't care. Rich black says, I know exactly who I am. Color psychology associates black with authority, sophistication, and power. But when that richness fades, the effect reverses. It becomes visually heavy, but emotionally flat. And when it's the default in your wardrobe, you risk disappearing into it. I'm not saying you should ban black, far from it. When worn well, it can still be striking and elegant after 60. Here's how to make it work. Choose high-quality fabrics that hold their depth, like velvet, satin, or ponte. Avoid overwashing cotton or jersey pieces and replace them when they fade. Use accessories, pearls, silver jewelry, or a bold lip to bring light back to your face. Mix in other dark neutrals like charcoal gray, navy, or espresso brown for variety and warmth. And most importantly, know when to let a piece go. If the color no longer supports your radiance, it's time to say goodbye. Because you deserve clothes that reflect your presence, not ones that quietly dim it. Speaking of dimming, there's another color that can make even the brightest skin look dull. At its best, it's clean and radiant. At its worst, it sends a message of neglect. Let's talk about dirty white. White, when it's at its best, is one of the most powerful colors a woman over 60 can wear. It's crisp, it's radiant, it's timeless. It lifts the face and whispers elegance. But when white goes wrong, it doesn't just age you, it sends a quiet message of neglect. There's a fine line between clean white and dirty white, and it's often crossed without us realizing. Years of washing, storing, and wearing slowly steal that brightness. A blouse that was once pure white begins to lean beige. A favorite shirt develops faint discoloration at the collar. An ivory sweater loses its creamy glow and turns a little gray or yellow. And here's the thing. Your clothes might still be in great condition structurally. No tears, no pilling. But that subtle shift in tone is enough to dull your complexion, make your teeth look less white, and exaggerate shadows under your eyes. Color psychology tells us pure white signifies clarity, sophistication, and freshness. But once that brightness fades, the impression changes. Instead of polished, it reads worn out. Instead of intentional, it feels accidental. If you love white, and many of us do, there's no reason to give it up, just refine it. Here's what to reach for instead of dirty white. Crisp optic white for maximum brightness, especially against silver hair. Elegant ivory for warmth without dullness. Soft bone or oyster for a neutral sophistication in structured pieces. And take care of them like they deserve. Use gentle stain removers like OxyClean. Try a bluing agent to restore vibrance. Even simple tricks, like adding lemon juice to a wash, can help keep whites fresh. I've seen women swap a yellowed blouse for a clean optic white one and look instantly 10 years younger. Not because of the garment itself, but because the light it reflected transformed their whole face. Dirty white is a silent saboteur. It doesn't scream for attention. It simply lowers the volume on your presence. And after 60, you've earned the right to be seen, fully, brightly, beautifully. Now, from a shade that whispers worn out, we move to colors that don't whisper at all. In fact, they shout, often louder than we want them to. Let's talk about neon colors. There's no denying it. Neon demands attention. Highlighter yellow, electric pink, screaming green, these shades practically leap out of the closet. On younger skin, they can look playful, daring, even edgy. But after 60, that same intensity often tells a different story, one that can feel jarring rather than joyful. Here's why. Neon isn't just color, it's color on caffeine. It's loud, aggressive, and highly artificial. Instead of flattering mature skin, it creates extreme contrast that emphasizes what we'd rather soften: skin texture, shadows, uneven tones. You might remember a time when a lime green top or hot pink dress made you look lively and sun-kissed. But now, the same piece can leave you looking washed out. Or worse, like you're trying too hard to look younger. And that's the tricky part. When clothing looks like it's fighting you instead of supporting you, the effect is the opposite of elegance. It can quickly drift into the territory of dated or costumey. Color psychology associates neon with urgency, rebellion, and high energy. That's why we see it on road signs, sportswear, and club outfits. Not in luxury fashion. It's trend-driven, not timeless. And most neons, especially in cheaper fabrics, signal disposable rather than refined. Some of the most aging neons include highlighter yellow, which can make even glowing skin look sallow; hot electric pink, which clashes with silver hair and draws attention to the wrong places; neon green or lime, which can appear cartoonish on mature skin. The fix isn't to avoid color, it's to choose color with intention. If you love yellow, go for mustard, buttercream, or goldenrod. If pink is your passion, try rose, berry, or blush. If green lights you up, choose olive, sage, or emerald. These tones still bring energy, but in a way that harmonizes with your skin and hair. They say confident, not chaotic. Elegant, not exhausting. Neon tries to shout, but after 60, true style whispers and still gets heard. Now, let's turn to a shade that feels safe, almost invisible, but can quietly erase you from your own outfit. Let's talk about flat gray. Gray is one of those colors that promises sophistication. It's neutral, it's balanced, it goes with everything. But here's the thing, not all grays are created equal. The gray I'm talking about is that flat, cold, concrete shade. No texture, no warmth, no depth. It's the kind of color you might see in old uniforms, faded sweatshirts, or hospital walls. When worn near the face, flat gray can quietly drain your skin tone, mute your eyes, and erase your natural contrast. Instead of polished, it reads as tired. Instead of effortless, it says, I gave up. And it's deceptive. It feels safe because it's not loud or flashy, but safe doesn't always mean flattering, especially after 60, when our natural coloring changes, hair turning silver, skin becoming softer or lighter. If your clothing mirrors that same low contrast palette, you risk becoming invisible in your own outfit. Fashion is a silent language, and flat gray often says, don't notice me. But after 60, you've earned the right to be noticed. That doesn't mean all gray is wrong. Some shades can be incredibly elegant when chosen with care. Heather gray, soft, textured, and cozy yet refined. Grega, a mix of gray and beige that flatters more skin tones. Charcoal, rich, dramatic, and sophisticated without being as harsh as black. Warm taupe, neutral with a touch of warmth, instantly more expensive looking. These versions still feel neutral, but they add life rather than take it away. They offer subtle contrast, which frames the face and lifts your features. I've watched women swap a flat gray cardigan for a heather gray wrap or a charcoal jacket, and suddenly, their skin glows, their eyes brighten. It's like someone adjusted the lighting in the room. Flat gray might promise simplicity, but what it often delivers is silence. And you, my dear, were not meant to fade into the background. Next, we'll look at a color family that's known for being soft and feminine. But in the wrong shade, it can quietly wash you out. Let's talk about ashy pastels. Pastels have a lovely reputation. They're soft, they're feminine, they're timeless, but there's a certain kind of pastel that can quietly work against you. And that's the ashy pastel. Ashy pastels are pale shades that have been muted to the point of losing their life. Think baby pink that's gone chalky, lavender with a gray undertone, or mint green that feels washed out instead of fresh. On paper, they seem delicate. On the body, especially on mature skin, they can drain you. Here's why. As we age, we naturally lose some of the pigment in our skin, lips, and hair. Our coloring becomes softer, more subtle. When you combine that with a pastel that already lacks vibrancy, the result can be a washed out, tired appearance, even if you've had a full night's rest. We often choose these colors because they feel safe, inoffensive, and age appropriate. But safe isn't always stylish, and appropriate doesn't have to mean invisible. The problem with ashy pastels is that they give almost nothing back to your complexion. They don't reflect light in a flattering way. Instead, they blend too closely with lighter skin tones and silver hair, making features fade rather than shine. The fix isn't to abandon pastels, it's to choose ones with clarity and warmth. Try these instead. Clear pinks like rose or blush that still have a gentle brightness. Lavender with blue undertones, which lights up cooler skin tones beautifully. Fresh mint or aqua instead of dull sage or faded green. Peachy coral, which warms the skin without being overpowering. These shades still feel soft and feminine, but they reflect light back onto your face, making your skin appear healthier and your eyes more alive. I've seen women switch from a dusty pastel blouse to a clear, warm pastel and watch the compliments roll in. Not about the top, about them, because that's the real goal. The clothes should frame you, not compete with you or fade you into the background. And speaking of fading, there's one more common color habit that can flatten your look instantly, even if every piece you're wearing is beautiful. It's the temptation to match everything, a little too perfectly. Let's talk about overly matched outfits. Somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that matching everything made us look put together. Shoes match the purse, earrings match the scarf, lipstick matches the blouse. Head to toe, the exact same shade. It feels safe. It feels coordinated. But here's the secret. When everything matches perfectly, the look can feel dated, overworked, and even a little lifeless. The problem is that exact matching removes contrast, depth, and visual interest. Instead of framing your face and drawing attention to your features, it creates a flat wall of color. Your silhouette blends together, and your personality can get lost in the sameness. Fashion today, especially for women over 60, isn't about rigid rules. It's about effortless elegance. And effortless elegance needs movement, texture, and variety. When every single element of your outfit is identical in shade, it feels like a uniform. And you, my dear, are not a uniform. The fix is simple. Aim for harmony, not sameness. Play within a color family but mix tones, textures, and depths. For example, navy trousers with a soft sky blue blouse, silver jewelry, and a patterned scarf. Olive pants with a creamy linen top and a hint of mustard in your earrings. A rose-colored blouse with wine-toned pants and nude shoes. These combinations are still coordinated, but they breathe. They create layers for the eye to enjoy. And they send a message that you understand style, not just rules. This idea extends to accessories and makeup too. Your lipstick doesn't have to exactly match your top. Your handbag doesn't need to be the same shade as your shoes. When everything is too perfectly matched, it can look forced. But when your outfit feels intentional, balanced in color, varied in tone, it looks modern, alive, and uniquely yours. Because style isn't about disappearing into a single shade. It's about letting your personality peek through even in the smallest details. Now that we've gone through the 7 colors and habits that can quietly age you, there's one more thing we need to cover. 3 everyday color habits that can make even expensive outfits look cheap, and how to fix them instantly. Even if you've avoided muddy browns, faded blacks, and all the other silent saboteurs we've talked about, there are still a few everyday color habits that can pull your look down, no matter how much you've spent on your clothes. These habits aren't about one specific shade, they're about how color is used. And once you recognize them, they're surprisingly easy to fix. Habit 1: wearing childish colors without adjustment. There's nothing wrong with loving bright, playful colors. The problem is when those colors feel straight out of a toy store: bubblegum pink, cartoon purple, crayon yellow, without being adapted for the elegance you've grown into. Instead of looking youthful, these shades can read as trying too hard. The fix: choose matured versions of those playful tones. Swap bubblegum pink for rosewood or raspberry. Replace crayon yellow with mustard or goldenrod. Trade sky blue for rich cornflower or teal. These shades keep the fun, but add depth and sophistication. Habit 2: mixing too many loud colors at once. Bold colors are wonderful for adding energy, but when you wear 3 or 4 of them together, the effect becomes chaotic. It's like every part of your outfit is shouting at the same time, leaving the eye nowhere to rest. The fix: let one color lead and let the rest support. Anchor bold pieces with neutrals like ivory, navy, beige, or charcoal. For example, a rich emerald blouse looks more elegant when paired with cream trousers instead of competing with hot pink pants. Habit 3: wearing colors that wash you out. Sometimes the problem isn't the color's personality, it's the way it interacts with your skin tone. If the undertone is wrong, even the best fitting blouse can make you look tired. A quick guide: if your veins appear bluish and silver jewelry flatters you, you likely have a cool undertone. Try berry shades, true blues, and cool grays. If your veins are greenish and gold jewelry looks best, you likely have a warm undertone. Try earthy tones, warm reds, and olive greens. If you're unsure, consider getting a professional color analysis or using online tools to discover your seasonal palette. It's an investment that pays off every single day you get dressed. When you let go of colors that compete with you and start choosing shades that lift, flatter, and harmonize with your presence, everything changes. You feel more confident. People notice you, not just your clothes. And that brings us to the heart of this conversation. Because this was never really about fashion rules. It's about something deeper: the way you see yourself and the way you want the world to see you. Let's bring it all together in our final thoughts. Every time you get dressed, you're doing more than covering your body. You're telling the world how you want to be seen. And color, silent, subtle, powerful, plays a bigger role in that message than most people realize. When you reach for muddy browns, tired whites, or chaotic neons without thinking, you're not just blending into the background. You're quietly saying, I don't deserve more. But when you choose colors that light up your skin, bring life to your eyes, and harmonize with your hair, something shifts. You stand taller. You move differently. You project the dignity, wisdom, and vitality you've earned. This isn't about chasing trends or following rules for the sake of them. It's about using color as a form of self-respect. It's about dressing for the woman you are today, not the one you were 20 years ago, and not the one the world expects you to be. Because at this stage in life, you don't owe anyone invisibility. You don't owe anyone beige. You owe yourself joy, elegance, and presence. So here's my challenge for you. Go to your closet this week. Pull out one item in a color that drains you and replace it with something that lifts you. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be intentional. And then watch what happens. How people look at you differently, how you feel in your own skin, how you see yourself in the mirror. I promise, the right color doesn't just change your outfit, it changes your energy. And when your energy is elevated, the world can't help but respond. So wear your worth. Let your colors speak for you, and let them tell the story of a woman who knows her value and isn't afraid to show it. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What color in your wardrobe is quietly holding you back? And which one makes you feel unstoppable? Share it in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video made you pause and think, give it a like, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more content that honors the woman you're becoming.